Annika Sorenstam, you know her,
Mhm.
10-time major winner on the LPGA Tour. What's going on today? How are you these days?
I'm doing well. I was out at Bay Hill yesterday for the Arnold Palmer Invitational, spending some time with my partner, MasterCard. And today I'm home catching up. Just came from the gym, as you can see. I'm heading out to hit some balls in a little bit. And then tomorrow I'll be back at the tournament and maybe even support it during the weekend with the family. So great week to be in Orlando, and in Florida. It's beautiful out here.
Absolutely. Well, you mentioned being at this tournament. You played with Rahm in the Pro-Am. Had you ever played with him before? What were your impressions with John?
Yeah, no, I haven't. I really enjoyed it. What a nice guy, just super friendly. And of course, he can play, as we all know. It was nice to see him, going about his business, just watching him. But, talking to him, we played with Charles Kelly, who's also one of the singer from Lady A, I guess is what they call themselves now. And then
Right.
Raj, who's one of the main guys from MasterCard. So it was a great group. We had a lot of fun. The course is in great shape. And no, I mean, I think Rahm and I, we have a few things in common other than, not being just a European, but, we have Rolex is a partner at the same time as Callaway. So it's nice to kind of be able to meet in person and spend some time together.
Absolutely. There's a lot of great young players, great European players, as you know, in both the women's and the men's game right now. I want to talk about your golf game for a minute. The U.S. Women's Open, you committed to that back at Pine Needles. Here you are as a senior Open winner from last year. What an amazing opportunity. Like, how much are you looking forward to this, going back to Pine Needles?
Oh, very much so. I'm super excited, and I appreciate the invite from the USGA. And, I just wanted to express my gratitude for that. As you know, Pine Needles has a special place in my heart. This is where, I won there in 1996, my second US Open, and I was a good friend of Peggy Kirkbell, who unfortunately not will be with us. But it just has some great memories. The USGA to me is, such a big organization, and they've done a lot for women's golf, and so I want to support it. And of course, with all the young girls that go through the Annika Foundation, I feel like it's going to be neat to be walking and be part of the event as much as some of them will be.
Oh, I'm sure at this point in your career, so many different people you've influenced with that foundation. It's been a great thing in golf. I want to ask you about other young players. Nelly Korda, what a talent she is, #1 in the world. What are your impressions of Nelly?
Oh, I'm a big fan of Nelly. I think she's great for the game and a great ambassador of the game. And she's fun to play with. Obviously, her skills talk for herself, and she's done so incredibly well. I think we're going to see her for a while, but it's impressive. She hits it a long ways and got good touch around the greens. And I mean, that's all you can ask for. So it's good to see that women's golf is in good hands.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of being in good hands, you've been in some amazing places, amazing venues all over the world. I remember seeing you at Pebble Beach in 2010, the day after the U.S. Open, the GMAC won, 12 years ago now. St. Andrews, though, I want to get to that. What an amazing venue that is. Do you remember the feeling, the first time being there, St. Andrews?
Oh yeah, I've been lucky to play there a few times. I played there as an amateur in the St. Helen Trophy, I think it's called, an amateur event. And no, I mean it's kind of the home of golf. I mean, a lot of people know the history of it. It's just so special, the holy grounds of the game of golf, and how golf is just perceived over there, the links courses, the conditions, and just I don't know. I love playing links courses, and with the clubhouse behind the first tee and the 18th green is just so special. And St. Andrews, the town on its own, the little pubs and the little shops and everything.
Yeah.
It's just really cool.
Yeah. Well, the Scottish people, that's a big part of it. What do you make of kind of like running into these locals that they love their golf?
Oh, they do, and they know golf. I mean, they're educated and they appreciate the game. And what's interesting is the golf course closes on Sundays. A
Right.
lot of times people out there walking their dog. It's like a big park. So no, the culture is just very different, but I love it. I think it's just neat to be there. We had a induction Hall of Fame a few years ago, and I thought that was very appropriate. So yeah, I think it's got so much history, and it's fun to be a part of it.
Absolutely. Well, golf in Scotland, if you could just speak to the audience, the golf fans who've never played in Scotland, what would you say to them?
I would say that if you haven't played golf in Scotland, you really haven't played the real golf, and you haven't really experienced it. So I think that should be on your bucket list. I mean, playing golf in Scotland is just a true experience. It's golf is different. It's you play from A to B, and you you attack the elements as they come to you. You will see double greens. You will see people putting from 50 yards from the green, and the experience with caddies is just something else. The passion and the love for the game is just something you should experience, and it is so unique. And if you get a chance, please take it.
Yeah, well, you mentioned passion. The same thing in Ireland. There are some great golf courses on the Emerald Isle. What's been your experience so far in Ireland in golf?
Oh, I love Ireland. We played, Soham Cup was there. I played amateur championship there. I've been there a few times. I just love. I mean, I know the courses might be a little similar, like Scottish courses, but obviously the people are a little different. So you got to make sure you get a little Irish taste, a little Irish culture. But I love it. I mean, it's just a beautiful place to be, and the landscape, and I mean, I just feel like that's the tradition of the game.
Definitely. Well, as we're talking to amateur golfers at home, weekend golfers, for our warm up, you have a great warm up routine over the years, tried and true for you. What is kind of the go-to warm up mindset we need to have in the 20 minutes we're at the course, so getting ready on the range?
I know. I think sometimes, people can get ready mentally before you get physically ready. A lot of people are just, driving really fast to the parking lot and then get the clubs and off they go. But start thinking about the shots, start thinking about, where you're going to be. But most of all, forget about what you did earlier and focus where you are now. But if you have time to warm up, I say, tempo is really important. Just getting your body loose, hit a few shots with the shorter shots, and then maybe finish with a driver. But, you want to make sure that you also have a chance to hit a few putts to find the speed of the green. You don't want to waste 3-4 holes by. So you can still do that. You can still achieve all that in 20 minutes.
And what's your process like when you get to the range in that part of the warm up, getting ready for a round? How do you go through it? How long is everything?
Well, my routine is an hour and 15 minutes, and that includes, the short game, putting, chipping, bunker, and then I hit full shots, and then I finish with some wedges, and then, I think, but somebody just start thinking about when you're on the range, start thinking about the first hole. When you hit a driver, maybe start thinking about this is the shot I need on number one. And when you hit, some iron shots, maybe you can, if you played there before, maybe visualize the shot going on the green so that mentally you're ready. A lot of people, they rush to the tee and all they think about is, where they need to be going, after the round, like maybe I got to pick up this, I got to do that, or maybe they even bring some meeting notes into their mind when they're hitting balls. So make sure that your warm up, has a purpose, because that's going to help you too.
I love that purpose. What's a good drill that you love around the putting green in general that's good for all of us?
Yeah, I think speed is really important. A lot of people focus so much on short putts and the line that they forget about the speed. It doesn't matter what line you have if you don't have the right speed. So there are a lot of speed drills out there, and just take 30, 40 footers. But if you can't find a hole, just putt to the edge of the green, kind of the cut, and see how close you can get to the cut. Therefore, you're not dependent on what everybody else is. But it's good to just focus on the speed.
Speed, definitely. What is your biggest go-to in your warm-up routine? Like, how do you want to feel after you go through your bag and whatnot? What's the feeling you need for you?
I think a lot of it is just being positive, feeling ready, being prepared, and going out there. And of course, you want to be loose, but I think just from a mental standpoint, go in there and believe that you can hit the shots that you need to hit. And a lot of times I find that on the range, I find on the putting green. So I always leave with good thoughts. And maybe you need to make a short putt to just hear the ball go in the hole. Maybe you hit a wedge towards a flag and see it being close, or maybe you take a drive and have a target and kind of hit it somewhere there. Then kind of leave it at that. And then when you get to the first tee, those are the last thoughts you've had.
Mine, for sure. I know you got to go here in just a minute. I just want to wrap up with, in your career, there's been amazing things you've done. At one point you told me at Pebble Beach, you wish you would have smelled the roses a little bit more, possibly. When we talked about Lydia Ko and the smile we see on her face, smell the roses more. So what's an example? Where would be a regret in your career if you look back?
I think it's maybe more after a victory to just kind of soak it in and not feel like you have to move on to the next tournament so quickly, and not just feel like you got to constantly work and look at how to improve all the time. But having said that, I think that helped me to win the next tournament also. But there's a fine line of where you can kind of just sit there and say, that was fun, that was good, I'm proud of you, and then recharge. So but I feel like I always got the fifth gear going all the time. So it's just cruising. So maybe sometimes slow down, and kind of look around your surroundings.
Absolutely. Last question, Solheim Cup. What do you make of what we have coming up with that? How excited are you?
Oh, it's going to be super exciting. Soham Cup has it's a big part for women's golf. I've been lucky to be a player, a vice captain, and a captain, and so I'll be watching it from afar. But it's exciting. Europe has done so well the last few years, so looking forward to that momentum continuing.
Absolutely. Annika Sorenstam, great having you on Beyond the Clubhouse. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Take care of yourself.
All right.